Hello and welcome, as today's date is that of Sunday, 16th day of June 2019. My name is Derek, all bets trades, and of the like, well, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. Okay. 5 minute term time frame for Bitcoin. Things are happening as it broke out above the 18 average of highs at 9:15 a.m. Right now it is 10:06 in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania morning time, Eastern time zone. Like almost every single one of these are green candles, yet only a couple that really can stand out from, obviously not counting this one here, or three that stands out from this low. Is there even a red candle down on here? This is a break even, so I don't count that as red. Every single one of these periods is up as buyers have regained control, breaking levels of shorter term resistance. There was this barrier, and it's a range barrier oftentimes within it, and there we go. So this complete candle got up to it, it's broken above it. Nice little sideways move, because within this grinding your way higher, you can see all of this within the move. And that to me does a lot of wildcard stuff because it's very bullish and it's already very overextended. And in that, if it does get above this short term, this could be a phenomenal play. With that being said, it is nicely overextended, and having a sideways move or a little bit of a comeback at this point by no means is a surprise. In fact, when you come up here, oh, this is resistance. Okay. Oh, nope, it breaks above it. Now I'm looking for it as support. And now this is resistance. It breaks it. So now I'm looking for this as support, or this entire range more than anything. And will we do it now? Will we do it later? Tough to determine, but as it's playing out, each of these time frames, because it's like slow and steady growth, like this period here, you see it pulls back. This one was an up and down sideways, and the last two are technically nice greens, but back to previous resistance. This one actually opened at the previous one, so technically this should have like a little line after this, but just this minute even, it has gotten by it, and we're retracing from this particular high as well. Can we see it more clearly on the 15? And most certainly we can, as the price action on this pullback at 4 in the morning, 445 is the bottom. It came back to where it came from, and it hit that level four different times on the way down, with each resistance level being in similar areas to a degree. You have this one, you have this one, you have this one, and then when it came up to this point in here, as we can see, no resistance, and it's been a nice breakout. So that's an obvious, again, this is support. Next level of key resistance in here, well, we've already hit the lower end of this support, so we're in this little range in here as the resistance area for, of course, this particular time frame, and it is that of the 15. But you can see it all. There's two ways of seeing it. There's this one here. I just click on these buttons to go fast, and it's like poker chips to me. If I'm a poker, I would be a kick-ass poker director. But as far as chips are concerned, they got to be in intervals of like 4 or 5x kind of deal. So 1 to 5 is a 5x move. 5 to 15 is 3 times higher. 15 to an hour is 4 times higher. 1 to 4 is 4. 4 to a day is 6 times higher. Day to a week happens to be 7. I used to have a 3 day with a premium package because a 7x move to me is really, really different. And I also had a 400, I have like a 400-minute term time frame, something like that, which was in between 4 hour and day for the exact same reason. So 7 differentials between day and week, and like 4.2 differentials from week and month. Anyway, that's just whatever mathematics. Nice little move. 3 great consecutive green candles, leaving the 18 average of highs and 5 in total from the last support level. On the single hour term time frame, this is just a fantastic looking setup, because you end up having this little move in here. This was just a strong few candles in here showing that, yeah, a move like this is possible. It had a move that was nice. 2 sidewayses are just hanging in there, pauses, and then a very big red candle down, but that big red candle down almost came back to this area where it came from, although it did come to this little shorter term one. But wherever it comes to, it comes to, and it did go down to the 18 average. That's always a place I'm looking for as well. And because it was a good move, it was due, and it could have had a deeper correction, but it looks like that's not needed. And I say it looks like that's not needed because I'm seeing exitation of the 18 of highs. spending about 3, 4, or 5 periods in there and lifting out in here. We have, it's a new period. So far, I like to see 10, 15 minutes. If it just keeps on going, you gotta give it the benefit of the doubt that it could break this resistance. And of course, coming back down here into the support, into the 18, is fine. If there's any support, I'd like to see it hold about 91 high or 9200 even area, but 9165 and up. But I see this right now as the early stages of a breakout. If you're looking to just quickly look at charts, I want to find a long setup. I want to buy something. You got like 100 different setups you're looking at. You want to trade the hourly time frame. You see this, I'm like, okay, day trade long, buy now, look to sell a break above resistance, and of course, I have Fibonacci at 98. Now we can see just short term, it's going up to 93. So 5 minutes is just continuing on doing what it has been doing. And within the 4 hour term time frame, that's another textbook situation. Focusing on these 4 candles here and really where did it come from, which is always important as well too. But within the move in here, we have there's 2 good green candles, so a nice little move up and the noticeable correction. But when you see that and it gives it pretty much all back, exact like a little pierce below, pierce above, exact hit, and right now it's a pierce below, and there's still an hour 47 left, so it's just past the halfway point of this period. But when you see that, like the big green, the big red, and the big green correcting back above it, this is another situation where when you're well extended from the 18 average, it looks like it could be ready to go because you're still seeing levels of correction. Actually, like I stated, 1 hour term time frame looks like a spot. Oh, it's time to go long because we should break this resistance. And on the daily term, this is a good time to talk about this. When you're talking about that strategy, well, how long is that good for? Because excitation of the 18 average happening in here. So it meant going long here at around 86, 87. And you're totally expected it to beat this high, but it's only barely beaten it. So you could be like, okay, well, it's a good bet to go long here. And of course, all bets trades have the like with each his own risk reward. I didn't say that at the start. I think I might have said that because I actually was going to do a different video that didn't require that saying, and then I thought this video sucked, so I didn't do it. But within this, one of the ways is actually, and you know what? Don't scrap that aside. But it's at some point, okay, this was a great buy. Maybe this is a good buy. Then it becomes a marginal buy. Well, now we're in sell areas, so not even close. But when you're looking for the break, a break above resistance, because that's what we got here. This was that level. And if you're looking for that, well, it's in play. It's probably in the next few days going to be going higher. We're on a Sunday. We're going to be moving into a Monday, so 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, which represents about the real morning for Europe. That's why I say 3, 4 here. That could be interesting situations. Who knows today? Because I don't know how many big traders would actually work on a Sunday. But what's the big difference? Each day is the same. You breathe the same air every day. You eat the same, well, not the same food, but the routines. Sunday's like any other day to me. Every day is about the same for that. But that's just my opinion on it. This is breaking out phenomenally. And I've been saying for quite some time that it looks like we're heading to this key level. So I'm going to bring this Bitstamp one up just because I got my fib lines on here. And I like to use the other one because if I use a drawing tool, I don't want to draw on this one because I put these lines in at the bottom before it was even hit this. In fact, I hit 2 other smaller lines below it. In fact, you know what? Do I need to keep these in anymore? I don't need them. And I knew there was going to be a time they would have to go. You draw them in, you're building a foundation, and you know at some point it's going to be deleted. Within this setup, several green candles up in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some sideways moves, and now the leaving of it. And Same little deal again. You can make a case: big green, big red up, and now giving it all back. The 12,930 handle represents a 76.4% correction from the $20,000 lows and the 3,100 a little above. 20,000 highs, 3,100 barely above lows. And it's actually barely below 20,000 highs. But rounding it off, 20,000 and 3,100. And the 6341 represents a 38.2% retracement. I deleted the 23.6 and the 15%. And as I was saying even before, as far as where I needed to see this hold, obviously it's always the 18. And I was making it down in here as the lower end and in here. But now that it's starting to break out, especially hits the 98.14, I'm going to upgrade that number to 6,341. As far as the 18 average, it is already crossing above it on the highs, and the lows is not much longer from doing such. And we're in a new week tomorrow. In fact, what's been the rate of the cent lately? 59.24 currently. Last month it was 56.50. So yeah, it'll be getting the 63, 64 range. As far and it's going to open its 18 average of lows at such a high number as well too, that it's most likely on its way to 1213. So if it doesn't top now, the whole, especially if it hits another 3,400, it gets that 98.14 because it's almost a pierce. It's pretty much a pierce below now. I mean, it's still got a good room difference here, but hitting into this area to me says, okay, if we have a pullback, a successful one would be to around where this line is. But when I see the situation like it was in Litecoin, I'll bring the Litecoin chart up after this. You resisted near it. You showed this little bit of pattern as that it most likely is going to have a significant break above this high. And 9,814 most certainly doesn't represent that. I would be looking at least at a good 10.5. Now, a move to 10.5, 10.7 would be what Fibonacci does on these cryptos more times than not, and that's a Pierce extra, and oftentimes a noticeable Pierce extra. Of course, not the case on the low. And I say that because I had a bunch of good buy orders that did not get hit. That's fine. And in that, you come above it, that's the conservative level. Next one, 12,930 on the monthly chart. And I'm going to go back to Bitstamp for this because I'll have more data. And that's another reason why I like to put the Bitstamp in there too, because if I'm doing technical analysis multiple time frames, then this is a much better one. Because I like to see the 2015 lows and then when necessary the high. So you have key low, you have key high, correctionary low, which was a microscopic pierce above. Because even though I said 3,000 as the Fibonacci, that was a small pierce below. The actual Fibonacci was like 3,080 or something. The low was like 3,122. Yay. Okay, and you know what? It's really tough because to determine which low counts in here, you have these big ones. So many markets can be like even 10, 15% difference. For this low was 152. Another one might have been 177 or 111. All that kind of stuff. Regardless of the fact it had its good correctionary mode. No resistance, no resistance. Clear break now. Now barely above. As far as getting above, it's now at the lowest level it can to be a clear break above. Which means, okay, that's kind of wild card-ish because it should either mean a very good move, which would either be a fast move to previous high, just an amazing sideways consolidation play, something like this. That takes its time but is phenomenally bullish. Something of those natures there. But the opportunities for monstrous moves because of how the last few months have reacted have been just magnificent. The last month we had was up 62%, which followed 28.6. This month here was up 54. This was up 48. 65.78. Okay, so we have a better one, but it's pretty much the same. What did the 65 follow? It followed good moves. But after a 65, we had a small pause. And then up it goes. But if there was a red candle that were to, and then, which were to say go to here, and this is even 47. But if it was a red candle here, I would be like, okay, I'm not necessarily bearish because it's back to the correctionary phase, but if you start to leave after that, I'd be just saying, okay, we established this big resistance, we had a good correction, leaving it. It looks magnificent. So it looks almost either way. It's a magnificent setup, and a lot of it is because of those fantastic moves. Now, as far as that 68% or the 66%, this here was 450%. This here was 45. This was 186. The one before that, 63. Remember that. The one before the 63, or the one after the 63 here, was 186. And I'm not saying we're going to have these 3x or 2x whatever moves, because this was extremely early days of it. And this is the early days now. We just take that extremely early. So as far as this monstrous extreme volatility, well, volatility is still high, but not as high. But because of those monster moves that happen like this and the formation of the bull markets, every one of these time frames that's not the daily is extremely bullish. And within the Fibonacci, the 61.8, which of course I can re-show now on here. And I still got to do Litecoin, but my videos are usually long. So I'm going to finish off the Bitcoin analysis this way. When you get above this and you start to trade and hold this area amongst this lower area, all those negative sentiments that we had from this failed breakdown move, because I've showed this box before, well, it looks like that fast move from the failed one is happening. And the largeness of this move can work in so many directions. If this does have its move, well, a small conservative one again is in that 11,000, and that's just barely doing anything more. And then being a little less conservative is that 12.9. But that thing could just go fly high. News attention will maybe start to pick up. All the FOMO, fear of missing out, is going to reside within human psychology. And then you just get those wild moves, and then next thing you know, 13 to 16 to 18 just happens so darn near fast, let alone what could happen. So the possibilities of breaking this in a fast move and a high volatile level are in play. And as long as people are willing to buy at these prices that are offered on the market, and right now they have been for quite some time, that have continuously been going higher, then the market will go up, and that's going to keep on doing until it stops. And the more it goes up, well, the bigger correction that's going to have to happen. Right now, it hasn't went up too monstrous within this, but it has went up enough where you could come down and have like a small, like 30 whatever percent correction. And that's true to say, small 30% amongst the crypto space, because in stocks they say like a 15 or so per move is a big correction, or the start of one anyway. Well, that's nothing in this case. In fact, this month is 21% up as it is, and the last one was 12.6, and that's just a one small yada yada period that couldn't even make it to the 18 average of highs. Litecoin is next. But Bitcoin dominance, it's going higher, as we can see in here. Alrighty then, Litecoin is next. Down 6.7. What's going on? I might have to cut this short to trade. Yeah. What's the U.S. doing? It's only down 1.7. And you know what? All this volatility has been going on because these altcoins have been going down a lot. I've made one trade since yesterday morning, which is like sickly low. But that's fine. So all this is all holding in there fine. Nice little setup. I'm hoping again, Bitcoin up first, Litecoin up second, altcoins up third. But whatever happens with the market happens. And as far as what I was mentioning before, as far as like in here, this one technically was barely below this low. This little correction and move in here. So I still think this is poised for a decent size move as we head in forward. It's just right now Bitcoin is in control of the market. And how bad are some of these other coins? So Bitcoin Cash up 2.7% against the dollar. DGB up 1.7% against the buck. We got Gold Coin now down to 237. Theta 1370. Man, come on, give me some buy opportunities for it. See, that's the thing about ratio trading. One would say, man, it sucks because you really can't trade much ratios because Litecoin and Theta, it's like down 1%. GRS and like Litecoin, GRS is up a couple percent. And you know what? That is part of the aspect towards the game. But in counter, the mathematical numbers still play through. And you know what? Let's quickly go through a spreadsheet that I made yesterday. And what the spreadsheet is, it's I think 18 or 19 different cryptocurrencies, which includes Theta. Let me just go back and scroll to the top. It includes Theta, Litecoin, Nano, Ethereum Classic, Ethereum, ARC, GRS, Monero, Ripple, Cardano, Tron, ELF, Qtum, Omisgo, Dash, Wabi, Lunar, Singles, and the US dollar. This is just one divided by the Bitcoin price because TUSD hasn't been around since January 30th, 2018. That was the first day in which Theta was on the market. So I got all the prices down to June the 15th. And since that point against Bitcoin, and this is at this level here, obviously they change. Theta down 30, Litecoin only down 4.8. That's the second best gainer of all of them. And keyword gainer, it's the best loser, only one gainer. Nano down 89, Ethereum Classic 63, Ethereum down 71 against Bitcoin, ARC down 87, GRS down 41, Monero down 60, Ripple down 57, Cardano down 30, Tron down 31, ELF down 86, Qtum down 88, Omisgo down 84, Dash down 74, Wabi down 45. That's going to be a big one, the Wabi coin. Lunar down 92, Singles down 91, and the dollar is up 14.2%, but that's probably going to be heading into the negatives relatively soon. Sheet number 2, this was an area where that did calculations for me, and I did calculations to determine volatility. Times, oh, this is a chart. This is the chart of actual volatility going on recently. So I was just noticing yesterday, yeah, it's just going down. So it's there hasn't been as much volatility amongst ratio trades over the last little while. But this is just there is no major. This is just choppy over the last little while. We can see though, at January 30th for the first few days that this is just how many trades would have been made if you traded every single cross together, which is what this would here. This is every single cross right in here. And what it does is it calculates how many times it makes a 15% move up or a little over 13% move down, which is the same. And in here, this is where I got some data. So ADA, so this is how volatile some of these coins are. Column M. So Wabi is the most volatile of the list. Theta is second, which is something I love to see. US dollar is actually third. Lunar, Nano, GRS, SGNL, Singles, ELF, Tron, Cardano, ARC, Ethereum Classic, Ripple, Litecoin, Omisgo, Qtum, Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin being near the bottom, that's one of many reasons. There's three main reasons I don't want to trade Bitcoin against currency, other ones. One of them is because of this here, low volatility. So trading like Ethereum and Monero together, what are you doing? I mean, unless you want to, I can't say that because there's actually reasons why you want to do it because you don't want that massive volatility. But with that being said, Bitcoin has lower volatility. The transfer fees to get them off exchanges suck. And within ratio trade, if all ratios go up together, I can trade that against Bitcoin as well, which is basically what my plan is. And then you got Dash, Ethereum, and Monero at the bottom. Monero with the lowest amount in here. So, as far as the crosses are concerned, this is every single cross here. So we'll sort this by column C in descending order. We're going to see of the, I put every combination together. That's not right. Did I lose all my data? I can get it back, but the biggest one was Theta and Wabi together. And Theta and the dollar is really high as well. But the overall thing that matter about it is that trading against Bitcoin gives you a lot less opportunities than trading against like other ones. This here was really disappointing. I just wanted to see what would happen, even without rake. If I were to trade everything after the day, so everything is worth exactly the same at the end of every day. The average coin was down 58%. And doing this barely overperformed it. For it worked out to be 50%. Where's the stats that showed me that? I know it's just a bunch of numbers you're looking at. Where did I put? I mean, this is just pure computer code. Anyway, I'm going on too far on this, so let's just wrap this up. And thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.